Hey guys, thank you for tuning into a new episode. It's been quite a while and I do apologise. I was intending on having this whole series finished off before Christmas, but life circumstances got in the way and it's very difficult for me to get enough time to sit down with it. That's leading me into today's episode, which is actually going to be about reducing some of the stuff that I had on the original plan in order to get this to a working state that you guys can then see as the finished product, or the demo that you can get your hands on, and then figure out how to go back from there. So I've just got my mind map up at the moment and I'm having a look at some of the stuff that we're going to go through. Now, I've pre-recorded this already, so this is actually a voiceover narration, so I'm just pretty much going to be speaking to what you can see on the screen rather than what I was originally saying at the time, because I didn't record the audio for it. So as you can see, I've got my mind map out here and it's split up the Invector TPS into the project into all the different aspects that I need to have, just that I can plan out what kind of work I was looking at doing. So let's just wait for it to start picking up to where it was. I was probably explaining here about how I don't like to actually reduce on projects and things like that, so you need to really have a think about it, only if you're really under the pressure. Normally I wouldn't suggest being under pressure for your projects. If it's just your art project, that's fine, but as I said, I'm trying to do this so that you guys can actually see the end of the series. So we're having a look at the enemy AI now. We've already got the behaviours and the animations. That's already held by most of the end stuff. So we've got one companion. I'm going to delete that because we're not going to have any friendly AI. We're looking at the 3 goblins now. We've already got a melee and a spellcaster. I'm going to take out the ranged because I'm not going to bother with putting that in there. It's a lot of extra effort that we don't really need, as we've already got the spellcaster. It's effectively the same thing, just using a bow or a rifle. And the same with the undead. I'm going to get rid of the range. We're just going to do the melee and spellcasting. The bandits, I was going to have them as another set, but I think I'm actually just going to take the bandits out altogether. So we get rid of that. And then we've got one boss. We're going to keep that one in there. The generic animal, I'm going to get rid of that because I'm not going to put them in. We've already got civilian NPCs, and I was going to get rid of the friendly guards, but they're actually quite easy to make. They're just pretty much NPCs, but set to a different team, and they hunt for the enemy. Stats, that's not really an issue here because that was more about just adjusting the stats for different level enemies. So I'm just going to leave that there because that's something that sort of gets touched on when we actually create the enemy anyway. Doesn't need extra stuff. Now, the interactive world objects, I'm going to take away the switches because I'm not really going to bother with that kind of puzzle stuff. But we are going to keep the doors and the platforms in because both of those come as the standard demo for Invector. So they're already built into the system, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And here we go. Yep, we go up to the next part. So now we look at the inventory. Now we've got quest and functional objects. I'm going to get rid of those because I'm actually taking away the way the quest function is going to work. The aid items, they're just potions. They're going to stay. Rifles, I'm going to take that away. We don't really need a gun in this. We're already going to have the bow. So yeah, I just struggle here with trying to delete it because it keeps deleting the text. 3 two-handed swords. We're going to actually narrow that down to just 1 two-handed sword. That's going to be a special weapon that we can pick up. The staves, well, we've already got those already set. The axes, I'm also going to return that to just one one-handed axe, and 3 of the one-handed swords, I think they're already done, and then we've also got the bow and the shield. And then we come up here to the stats list, so we've already got health and stamina in there. Damage is also already handled, but I'm going to get rid of the experience field, so I'm not actually going to have leveling stats. So you're not going to increase by the time. We're actually going to handle the increase in your health and stamina via pick up potions that you can do. They're already built into the system as well, so I'll show you how to set those ones up as a replacement for the XP field. So yep, now we're just going through that, and I'm talking about the potions used there. And now we've got the spells, of course. So they're utilising the shooter mechanic. Well, it's already handled by the staff weapons that we have in the game. So that's we're not really going to need that. So I'm actually going to delete that whole thing out. Of course, I try and delete it there. It doesn't work, and then I go bugger it. I'll just delete the whole thread. So we don't need that. And now part of the world building. So of course we've got the lore, the story, the aesthetics, game flow, all of that sort of stuff. We've already got a dungeon set up. I've built that in there. I've also got a town already set up, and 2 mob areas already gone. So all that's already done with the work that I've done so far. Mostly in the off thing, we've set up the environment. All that's fine. Don't have to worry too much about that. Now the quests, obviously we haven't touched those. Now the dialogues, yeah, we've already done the dialogue for NPCs and game events, things like that. And then the controls all ready to go. So that's pretty much all that we needed to do for scaling back the project idea. We haven't cut away too much. We have cut away the experience system, which I think might be important to some of you people that were trying to make an actual progressive RPG. I'm going for more of just the action building RPG. Anyway, let's jump into the rest of the video. Okay, so we're back into our project now. I do apologise for some of the background noise with this one here. As I said, like I've got to, try and mix my times together, so I'm doing this when the house is all awake. So having a look here, this is actually the boss area that I'd set up for the final dungeon or the final maze, and then into this area here for a boss fight, so that'd be pretty cool. It's looking good now that I've put in all the new graphics. Down here is going to be obviously the undead mob area. And then when we come across to here, we've got the goblin war camp there, so that's where all the green screens will be. And then coming back, we've got our town, which is set up with all of our NPCs, civilians, that sort of stuff walking around, and the quest givers. And then, of course, we've got this special secret location over here, which might have an item or two that you might like. I don't remember whether I revealed that in the previous one, but whatever, doesn't matter. And, of course, here's our little starting spot where we get the first things. So, let's start dialing back. I think that's probably one of the first things that we'll do. So we've got our player character here. Just going to select them on the hierarchy and get to the thing. We're going to close that off. Should we? Yep, hide it all. Generic action. We actually opened that. We didn't hide it. Let's have a look now. We've got our item manager, quest system, currency vendor, quest manager, level manager. So we're just going to remove that. Remove. So we're not going to use the leveling anymore. We're also going to come down to our UI, our XP HUD. Going to delete that because we're not going to use that now. Now I'm just going to run that, make sure that we don't get any fancy errors popping up. I probably will get a couple of errors because I was running it before and I had it. So now you can see we don't have, in the top right corner, we're no longer getting levels and XP, so that's fine. And I'm just going to take it off maximize, just got to check the console. No real warnings there. But all that stuff's just regular stuff, not a problem. So cool. So that's how we got rid of that. So now we don't need that. I will check though, do I have goblins already set up and playing? Spawner B, that's right, we were trying to get the quest system spawner, weren't we? I'm actually going to remove those. I'm not going to use these spawners anymore. That we can set them up to work, but I'm not going to bother because with the new version of the AI that's come out, we really don't need to worry about how many of these are on screen or in the game world at one time. So I'm just going to come down here and just have a look that there wasn't any... no, there was nothing there to say get this amount when you get killed, so that's good. So I'm just going to take away the spawners. I'm just going to check if there's any more in the scene. No, it doesn't look like it, so I think we should be okay. Alright, so let's start by maybe putting a few more of our enemy characters in the scene. So let's come in here, let's actually start manually placing our goblin packs. So we've got level 1 goblins. Again, it's just a name for now, so we don't need to worry so much about that. Going to have a couple of level 1 goblins here. Going to control duplicate, and then move them. So I'll have these guys here, and then maybe a bit further up we might have a shaman. And why does that have a camera on him? Dear, what have we done there? Oh no, it's the weapon. Okay. It was just a bit weird. I don't know why it had that on there, but it's part of the aiming device for the camera. So we're just gonna circle this around. Obviously, we wanted the pivot, which would have been there. These can be there, and we're also going to drop in another couple of goblins. Of course, they've got the big swords coming in, but we'll change those soon enough. So we're just going to drop a couple more there. And then here, of course, we want to have plenty more. So we're going to have a couple of goblins. And maybe we want two here. The shamans are the ones that can shoot, so we want them to do a thing. We're going to have another couple of goblins. Really going to deck it out so we've got enough of the characters, but hopefully they won't all trigger off at once, so you can go from group to group. And then of course we've got a little camp over here, so we're just going to put another couple there. You just make little squads of them. Alright, so that's how we do those ones there now. Let's have a look at creating our undead. So let's start bringing those in, and I'll just see whether we actually have the undead. What were we using? Fantasy Rivals was in there. Yep, cool. So going to go to the characters. Let's have a look at what we've got. We've got Ancient Queen, Warrior, Barbarian Giant. That's pretty cool. Golems, Red Demon, Slayer. Oh, he looks pretty cool. Troll, Dark Elf, Evil God. We don't really have it other than the Spirit Demons. I guess we could use those. Yeah, I don't think we have any of the other ones that just have skeletons in them, do we? I thought we would have, but well, maybe in the art media. Yep, there we go. So dungeon then. That's what we want. We want the characters. Goblin male, female, skeleton. Skeleton knight. Skeleton soldier. I think would probably be the better ones. So let's go about setting up another one of those. So Invector, AI controller. We're going to create a new AI. Going to drag our character soldier. This one we're going to give it the shooter melee. Put AI. Go AI melee. And then the FSM controller, we want that to be FSM melee, or melee. Big control AI melee. We're going to create. We're going to click on this here, and I'm just going to do it easy. I'm just going to copy that component. Now we're going to scroll down, character skeleton, soldier 1, and we're going to paste component values. And why is that? Oh, because it was a child of the other object. Alright, cool. Well, it doesn't matter. Just move it across manually. Move it till we've got it in the spot where we want it. Good enough. Okay. Alright, so now we've got a standard character there set up. I'm going to go components, Ragdoll, create, and I believe that should have worked. I'm also just going to rename this skeleton LV1, and we're going to select this one where it is, skeleton LV2. Now, just a reminder, I'm using 2017.4.8, so it is a bit dated now. 2018.3, if you've started in that project, you'll see that handling prefabs has been quite different. I'm not a big fan of it. Personally, I'm sure it's probably a better thing to do, but I'm just going to use this for now. So Melee Manager, yep, I've got all that set up. It should be pretty much the same as the Goblin. If we click on a Goblin here, you can see all this extra stuff. Yep, so hit damage tags need to be that. If we go to the skeleton, hit damage tags need to be the player, so we can actually attack the player instead of the other melee. Combat settings, minimum attack time, blah blah blah. Should be cool. And then if we go to the Goblin in the hierarchy, we shall need spine, 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 right hand, there it is. I'm going to, yeah, you know, we're just going to copy that, and we're going to click on our skeleton. I believe alt click. There we go, that should open it all up. And we need to look for our right hand again. So we're going to go here. Yep. Just minimize those so I can see. And we're going to go paste. So paste it there. And then we're going to copy that component of it. This one here, and paste component values. And why is that hidden? Okay. Yeah, it was strange, it just come through hidden, I don't know why. Anyway, now you can see we've got the katana in there as well, and we'll change that one a little bit later on. But for now, I just want to get to the skeleton and make sure that it's working properly. I think that's all we need to do for the melee, so let's drag our player in just to test that one out and make sure that that's still working. And where is our player? Here he is. So let's now go and not get that, but let's get... No, alright, I'll tell you what we'll do. Just going to drag that there and go copy component, and we're going to delete him as well, because we don't need him there. And I'm going to come here and go paste component values. There we go, now I can start here. So I'm just doing my little shortcut techniques to get my character where it is rather than having to drag them all around the screen. So let's just test that one out. I may or may not have a weapon to fight him with, but that's fine. Equipment. Yes, I do have a weapon. Excellent. So, yeah, and he's already registered that he's got the katana. Now if I hit him... Oh, that was handy. Maybe I've upped the stats on it a bit. Might have to fix that up a little bit later. We'll see how that works. And you can see I can come in here. Ooh, this is pretty cool. Might be able to retexture some of this too, because yeah, this is all just flat rock. Although you can see I've got some cool grass and that effects here. Things like that. This area looks better than when I last left it, so that's good. I've got the glowing light. Ooh, spooky. I'm just going to test that again just to make sure that he does attack me. Did he not want to assault me now? No, you don't want to hurt me? Don't even want to target me? Alright. So, let's have a look at why that's happening then. Melee controller, start, movement, detection. Detection, site method, mix. Change target, detect layer. There we go. Player, detect tags. Move on. Player. And obstacles are default, so that it'll see the default scene obstacles like this. Yep, that's definitely on default. So now we'll try it with that. There we go. Now you can see me. Can you hurt me? Yes, he sure can. And we need to mark that as and enemy. So if I get my skeleton, click on it here. Yep, layer, enemy, cool. Alright, but you can see that I had some problems with the camera clipping on that there. So let's have a look at why that was. Per person camera. Culling layer is default. So shouldn't have a problem with doing that, but if we find it again, I'll chase that down and we'll try and figure out what's actually going on with that one. Alright, cool. So we don't need the city town hall anymore. Let's see if we can get the nature. Probably got nature post profile 1. Let's have a look at how that looks when we put that on. Yeah, a little bit different in the colour. Miss. Oh, right in my face. And then we're back again, and there's my dead body. That's great. Alright, so don't worry about that. So now we've got that one, let's set up another one which will be much like the Goblin Shaman, but for the undead. So let's go again to our AI controller, create a new AI. And this time we will use from the these characters. You know what? Let's have a look at what other ones we've got here. We've got the Skeleton, Soldier 2, Knight, Tormented Soul. Ooh, those could be cool, but we even have Ghost in here, don't we? Got Ghosts, Ghost 1. Alright, let's use the fancy looking evil one from the Fantasy Rivals. Not the Ancient Queen, we want a Spirit Demon. Yeah, these are pretty cool, so let's chuck one of these in there. Animated Controller, we want that to be AI Shooter. SM Behaviour, FM Shooter. Cool. And then we need to grab this guy's stats. So we're just going to go copy component. We're going to find our demon clone. We're going to call this Spirit Demon LV1. They're all just going to be LV1. If you wanted to do them separately, it's fine. I'm just putting that name there as a standard naming convention for them at the moment. And now you can see where it is. We're going to set up the Ragdoll for that one as well. So we're going to go basically motion components, Ragdoll, create. And the other thing that we didn't actually do with the skeleton, but we will do with this one. So now I've selected that, actually I'm going to need to find my little player component folder. So close that out, game components, environment, enemies, and we're going to drag this one down here as well. So now we've got that backed up there. Remember, we need to go to our shooter controller, we need to change the detection to player, and oops, where is it? Where's my player? There it is, player. Alright, and that's fine, and then we need to change, not that, sorry, it's combat settings to shooter manager. Where am I looking for who we actually want to hurt? Settings, event detection. Oh, the detection's there, so it'll be targeting our player, and I guess the weapon itself that I put on will be the one that works. So let's go item, weapons, and we want common sword, gobbo staff. Yeah, we're just going to drop the goblin staff onto it. So I'm going to go alt, open that, find our right hand. Here it is, and I'm going to drop the gobbo staff weapon onto it. And of course, it's facing the complete opposite way, so let's just rotate that around. And maybe just shuffle it across a little bit. And you know what we'll do is let's find our goblin shaman. Open that up. Now if you alt click on one of these arrows, it will open up all the arrows that are underneath it, so the little down arrows. It was a handy tip that I picked up recently. It does make it a bit easier to find things. So gobbo staff weapon, here we go, we're just going to copy those components. I'm going to close that up. And then we'll find our spirit demon level 1, and we'll find where we put the staff weapon, there we go, and paste component values, and that did not work the way we wanted it to, so let's just Control Z that, let's just leave that where it is. You know what, let's just try out with that for now. Come on, shoot me. You missed. So you can play with their settings a little bit later. He's just stopped now. Is he out of ammo? Is that? Oh, well, I've killed him. That's alright. So they're not quite the toughest of enemies, but we can fix it up a little bit later. I just want to make sure that they're shooting and chasing me and doing damage. And I know that one does damage because it's a very hefty sword. Alright, so cool, so we've got that now. We can apply whatever settings we've changed in there to the main one. And we'll just select it, so yeah, there you go. Now it's got the staff weapon. And we should be cool with that. So we can start filling those out. So I'm going to go to, skeleton. So let's drop a few more of those in there. Another of the spirit demons here, and we'll move this one as well, a bit further back into it. Let's start rotating so they're in a nice position. Pop this one here. And this guy's got to turn around here. This one will also be one of the first ones that you come across. So it'll be down near the start where I spawn. And we'll drop another one here. Oops, it's a goblin shaman, don't want that. Start dressing me out. Skeleton number 1. Put another one of those. So that should be enough because I'm going to adjust some of the settings for those anyway, so they're a bit stronger. But let's just see how we go. Alright, he needs to fight me. You. Yeah, you didn't like that, did you? Come on, try and cut me. I dare you. Uh-oh, why can't I attack? Oh, I'm not on the screen. Oh no! That's why that's the problem of having two monitors, is I managed to click on my Discord instead of on the actual system. So now everything's reset. Oh. I keep clicking off. Should be using a controller for this because my mouse is not handling it well. There we go. Now we got him. See if I can rise everyone up. Oh, okay, so we haven't actually put weapons in their hands. At least they're chasing me, that's alright. Oops. Alright. So all we got to do now is select our original skeleton. There he is, and go apply. Now they all should have big swords. Yep. Excellent. Alright, so that's done. So I'm just going to save that now. And what we might do now is we're actually going to get that katana and we're going to change it. So if I click on the actual katana itself. That's the hitbox. We want to get katana. Going to select that, and it's just going to bring me that one, isn't it? Okay, so we need to find the katana long. So that's it there, but we need to find the actual thing. So if I click off that, that's our FBX. If we go here, melee weapons. Right, where is it? Prefabs, weapons, big katana long. That's the one we want. So, I don't know if I've already done this in a previous episode, but I'm just going to go along with it here. Let's do that. We can change that pretty much the same way as we changed the other weapons when I was doing it earlier. So we're going to change that. Now it's a large sword, it's got the big wavy bit on it, so let's see what we can do about that. If we go to third-person controller, fantasy rivals, weapons. Now let's see what we got. Oh, we got some new stars, so we could replace some of the stars with that because they look pretty cool. We got a Kopesh, barbarian giant, big old dark elf blade. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Dwarf's got that. Yeah, a few different weapons and things. Some of those are pretty cool. Yeah, I like the Kabesh. But of course we need one that's actually going to be standard for everything, so Ragdoll and using people just Slayer, Troll. They're all using the guitar. I might have to change that a little bit later on. Alright, let's just replace it with a sword that I think looks cool anyway. So let us turn components and need to bring in HMario 1 to that. Does it go that way or does it go the other way? Yeah, it'll go the other way. And we might want to just play around with the scale of it a little bit, just a little bit, so that we can make it the sort of similar sizing and shape. We're going to turn that down just a little bit. So it sits a little bit differently. Now we need to make a couple of other adjustments to it because this is obviously the weapons, the different shapes. So we need to get the hitbox and we need to start modifying that a bit. Let's just move along here a bit more. We're going to have to rotate it in that angle a little bit and then we'll start drawing it out a bit more. I think that should be about okay. Now what we're going to do is going to delete this. Yep, prefab instance, and we're going to rename that V. Kabesh long. And we're actually going to apply that. So now that's going to change our katana completely. So if I select it, you can see katana long is now changed. So that was going to hide that. Let's have a look at how it looks on our models. Hasn't changed on those, probably because they're sitting in as the base and are protected. So what we'll do, we will change that. This is good because at least then that way I can do that. So let's go select our skeleton, select this whole thing, guitar long. We're just going to copy the component, so we've got the values. We're going to delete that. Yep, going to go guitar along. We're going to drop it in the hand again, and then we're going to paste component values, and now you can see it's got that. We'll just check that it works on this one guy. Yep, looks like it works, that's good. So now what we can do is we can modify our dude. We're going to select, yep, that's our skeleton level 1, we're going to apply. And now all of them should be carrying the coach. Yep, excellent, alright, cool. Now let's do a goblin version. So we're going to go here, we're going to bring back up F. And it's the large sword, but we want to just change the look of it, so let's actually go to our goblin weapons in our art media, characters, yep, that's the one we want, weapons, weapon axe, broken sword, axe nature, axe rune, weapon axe, goblin axe spikes, goblin machete spikes. Yep, that looks like a good one. So we're going to drop that into our components. And then we're going to just play around with it a bit to get it to the size we want. Like that. A little bit shrunk down. Just shuffle it around just a little bit. And that looks good. Now let's move the hitbox. Move it across a little bit, maybe rotate it back to 0, that's a bit straighter, and I'm going to delete that mesh. Yep, continue. We're going to change this to sword long, and we're not actually going to apply this one. We are going to select it in there because it's katana long, and we're going to drag it down as a whole new weapon, and that should be fine. So got that now. So that's your hitbox. Yep, that looks like it should be where it needs to be. So now let's find our goblins. Goblin level 1. F to go find him, and I'm going to click on his katana. Going to copy the component there, and we're going to delete the katana from his hand. We're going to drop in the goblin sword, and then we're going to paste the component values, and now you should see he's got the goblin sword. Then we're going to click on him so we're at the top level. We're going to go apply, and now all of our goblins should have the goblin sword. Yep, looks correct. There you go, and that's how we do that one there. So the katana, because I didn't want the katana at all anyway, because it doesn't suit the style of the game. So now we've got a whole bunch of enemies in there with the weapons that we want them to have. I can change the staff for this as well, for the druid staff. I will actually do that now, may as well, it's the same deal. So let's find our staff, goblin staff. Oh, that's pretty cool, but that's not what I wanted. Let us have a look. Did I put it in our special folder, game components, items and equipment, weapons? Yep, that's where I put it. So Gobbo staff weapon, is that the one that we're using? Yes, it is. So now I'm going to change that to the cool new looking staff that we've got for the demon. We need to find our correct folder for it. Fantasy Rivals, weapons, Ancient Queen's got that, Ancient Warrior, Barbarian Giant, Elemental Mystic, Red Demon, Spirit Demon's got a weird thing like that, but we want maybe the Red Demon one, or do we want the Ancient Queen? Yeah, I like the look of that one, so let's bring that one in. Exact same way as we were doing it just before. Go to the renderer, we just need to replace the mesh, nothing else, so we're going to drop that into our renderer. We're going to get this, we're going to copy component, and hopefully this will work this time. Paste component values. I'm thinking it did. Can't see it, but no, so it's actually turned it to, we go 1, whoops, not 41, 1, 1, 1. Interesting. So yeah, they're a bit different the way they're doing that. Maybe I've just got the thing set up incorrectly. But anyway, just got to move it so it roughly sits over the same location as the other one. And we're going to delete that because we don't need it anymore. We're going to turn this one to undead staff weapon. And we're going to select it so it's in there, and we're going to drag it in as a new prefab, and that's fine. We're going to then delete that out of the scene, and we're going to select our character now. Going to find where the Gobbo staff weapon is set up. Here it is. Again, copy the component. Going to delete it now. Going to drop in the undead staff weapon. Paste component values, and there we go. Now we've got it in the location we want it to be. Cool, and then we're going to apply that so that all the others should get it. Yeah, if we come across, yep, all the others seem to have it in the right spot. And we're just going to hit play to make sure that that all looks right and correct. But it's still going to shoot the same stuff as the goblin staff weapon, it's just going to look different because all we're changing is just the mesh of it. So, yep. He just wants to look at me, doesn't want to engage me, no worries. Oh, and I'm dead. So yeah, you can see that it's actually a little bit off in the IK, but we'll fix that up a little bit later when we go through and patch all the little bits and pieces. Anyway, so that's put in some of the enemies and that, so I'm going to stop the video there so that I can upload it, and I'll get working on the next episode where we'll start making a boss character. Thanks for tuning into this episode, it's good to see everyone again, and yeah, hopefully these changes will make everything go just a little bit quicker. Thanks for watching.